Hi everyone, welcome once again to Pathfinder-UK. We're out on explore today. We've been walking around and checking out some nice localities, and we just come across this lovely little river which we thought might make a nice little backdrop to the story that I'd like to share with you. I'm going to put this in the category of bird language, I guess, and hopefully the reason will become apparent in a short while. About 2 years ago I was up in Northumberland, and it was almost like taking a step back in time. I was running a tracking course up there, a lift in the Vale course, for a colleague of mine, and what was really interesting was that the wood that we were actually camped in and doing the course was actually right on the edge of Otterburn Ranges, which when I say take a step back in time, I was up there when I was like, let me see now, I would have been, I suppose, about 25, something like that, and that's where we used to do all our fire missions with the guns, because I was in the artillery at the time. So the whole weekend running this tracking course, there were fire missions going up all the time with shells shooting over my head. So, and oddly enough, that was probably the best 2 nights sleep I've had for a long time, strange as it may seem. But what was really interesting was, in fact, if you go back to bird language video number 1, I was sharing the story about the woodpecker and the sand bushman. That was basically in the same location as this story. Well, not basically, it was in the same location as this story. And what happened on one occasion, one of the clients wanted to have a private discussion with me around some issues that had come up for her in relation to her life. So I was quite happy to kind of go off, even though it was a tracking course, I was quite happy to go off and, you know, just allow her some time to kind of do a little process with me around some personal stuff. So, we walked off into the woods for a short distance, and we were stood there just on a trail, and she was sharing her stuff with me, and I'm listening and just taking on board what she had to say and really kind of trying to be present. And the next thing we knew was, because we were quite close to each other, the next thing that we knew was suddenly coming down the trail was a sparrowhawk, and the only reason we knew it was coming down the trail was because it had actually passed between the two of us with its wings outstretched, and it brushed up against both our legs. So each wing had brushed up against our legs, and then as we turned to follow it, it shot off through the woods, manoeuvring through the trees as Sparrowhawks so skillfully do. It never ceases to amaze me how they actually manoeuvre through such tight spaces within the woodland. Now, that for me was quite mind-blowing, that a sparrowhawk should put itself at risk by brushing its wing up against both of us, because it could have easily gone over the top of us. It didn't look like it was using us as cover to catch some prey, because it just carried on manoeuvring through the trees. There was nothing, I didn't see any other birds kind of doing a plough or anything like that. So it really felt, and certainly for her, it felt like this was a personal kind of message. Now, I know in Native American philosophy, I'm not too sure about our own culture, that, and I'll look it up later and hopefully I'll find something on the sparrowhawk, but I know in Native American philosophy that the sparrowhawk, or the hawk, represents a message from spirit. And as she was dealing with some very deep stuff, it just felt really appropriate for her in that moment, for that connection between me and her to be made through the sparrowhawk. That's what it kind of felt like. There was a connection being made. And of course, you might need to keep an open mind about that. That might not be something that you kind of choose to believe in. But for me personally, I really do believe in that kind of spiritual connection with nature, and that relationship that we have with nature, that we're all connected together. And there was this kind of real connection there. And since then, she's now adopted Sparrowhawk as her middle name. So when she writes her name, she's got Sparrowhawk in the middle, which I think is a really nice touch. And I really do feel that the story was that powerful, because it's kind of stayed with me since then, and I think it will always stay with me because of what happened. So anyway, I just really wanted to kind of share that little story with you. It is a short story, but even so, it was just really such a powerful connection with this beautiful bird, the sparrowhawk, and the fact that it put itself at risk. in so much as touching us. So really hope you've enjoyed that, and what I'd like to do is we're going to take off to another different place and share some more stories with you later. So in the meantime, stay safe.